Right. I was just gonna say something. Uh, when you're looking at a case as big as Chris Stevenson and Murdoch and stuff like that, sometimes you take a break off and kind of test your, I don't know, references or whatever. It's like you get a kind of new inspiration, stuff like that. And there's like two cases that I've been interested in is the Zodiac Killer, meaning the decoding and stuff like that, and also of course the Kennedy murder and the new released videos, and also actually I was not aware that Junior Kennedy had died. I didn't know actually, so I found out in, I think it's after 12. And I was pretty shocked because I didn't know anything about it. And I have some references during that I wanted to make a magazine at a time, and with my perfume flacons to finance it, and it must have been about the same time. And I was in London, and I think it was Junior's secretary that came with a magazine and showed me and said, what do you think? And I didn't really know what was going on because I was working in Northern Ireland and a lot of other things, so I didn't follow up on, you could say, New York establishment at all. So I basically don't know so much about people that you think I do. If I say, if I'm singing Senator Connery, or if I'm, Simple Minds something, I don't know shit about what they are doing, what records they made, where they play concert. I know nothing, really. I know a few songs and that's it, right? Because I've been very busy. And all of the losses I had in film and design and lyrics, I actually just sent something off and never saw the money. So, I mean, I was very angry about it, but it's not something I think about all the time, not at all. So basically, I think I know something about, film and magazine that probably is a little bit. But there is something about the Kennedy because it looks like I was connected back then in Australia, and then maybe was trafficked London, US, and there is a tie to Second World War, Ireland, maybe Germany, and so on, which complicated a little bit. So basically, and I have, probably like everybody else, I have some traumas during Vietnam War, which is that I had a dog tag from someone I knew, and he was in Vietnam, I think, because there's some people living over here that was with the Woodstocks. They had been in Vietnam. So actually, when you ask me about my war experience, also from media, it would not be so much. Of course, I've been taught about Second World War, but actually my kind of reference is Vietnam, which nobody really understood. And I feel I'm very attracted to Asia in many ways, Japan, China, and I feel very honored to be part of the Asian, interest of culture and political and stuff like that. I really like Asia. So basically, so there is some kind of, for example, the drawings are up on the tombstone drawings of the emblem and stuff like that, cartoon, photographs and stuff like that. So we are investigating. So basically, when I'm looking at Junior Kennedy, it's not because I think that actually I was trying, maybe it's a bit like a security about 11/9 that we were on something. We were on a track thinking it was a hijack. You know, the one agent that stepped forward and took down the kidnapper, the Let's Roll Beamer, right? We were one step ahead, but we weren't, because nobody imagined it could be like a crash. Everybody thought it was a hijack, which is the normal thing, right? And in the same way, maybe I had kind of feeling that something would happen, because I remember something about trying to stop, don't fly kind of thing. So it's a little complicated, but anyway, when I look at Junior Kennedy, it almost made me happy. I mean, I get really like in a good sense of humor, and you know, it's funny, and I kind of understand the gesture and stuff like that. And I also have a trauma that is pretty tough, which is something about a boat and a little boy crying in the sand and the water, which is maybe from, I don't know, could be from the TV coverage. It could also, it feels more real than that. And I always kind of cared about that boy, like, you know, because I think I always seen the Junior Kennedy as a really troubled boy that was left in a way and was endangered. I felt that, and I also felt he had a little dyslexia, a little spasm that made him feel even harder. So I always felt sympathy with the boy, and then I didn't know much about him as growing up. I mean, it's probably as rest of the world followed the US in 60s, 70s, right? In the 80s, I was more like, I was young in the 80s and going much more out, being interested in what was going around. You know, I was into very different environment, and the red line is that I was trying to stop terrorism. So I had, you know, I was learning something. So I'm very connected to security in all degrees, and so I didn't never go full in for art in a way. I did try to perform, and I did, you know, it never really, I didn't have the, I would say, I'm not an artist, so I have my background. My father was a Marine, and he was a Royal Marine. That can be UK, it can also be, you know, something, but he was Marine, so he was learning me to sail and dive and understand maps and all that stuff, which is where I am. I mean, I'm more going to, I think, you know, ranger rescuing mission is more interested than, you know, being attention, you know. So basically I don't, so when I look at this, we're looking back at after Second World War, what was going on. I know from my own background, if that's the Australian, that the paparazzi, black money, black market, copy, paparazzi crime, you know, like VG, for example. VG is a photographer from New York that looks for me like a staged, almost like a stage killer, because he's always there before police apparently. And one important thing, he's a boxer. And Marines are known to be good boxers. I was also the object of boxing. I boxed with my dad, man, and he was not, you know, dead in that way. So I think that VG, it looks for me as something brutal was going on, more than just a photographer. I also think that the person known as VG, maybe not as VG, he could be like he looks a bit like he's a handicapped man. And maybe this kind of brutal guy was, you know, just living in his apartment. Who knows? So I think that photographers, especially if we're talking Vermont case and Tron, the Utzon lottery and stuff like that, are very, very, it's a very dark world. It's the world where they kill to make sensation. And if you're gonna make somebody do something, what would you use? Blackmail, right? And that's especially, you could say, blackmail refugees, poor women, detainees, former criminals, stuff like that. So basically, I think that that's where maybe the answer is between the lines here, right?